Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Stacy, and today I'll be talking a little bit about what my first semester looked like, what I liked about it, what I didn't, just kind of like a recap. So one of the first things was I had to get used to my schedule. So a big part of my schedule was commuting. I had to commute every day, well, not every day, but about 3 or 4 times a week to Boston, and it was kind of a lot. I mean, it took about an hour to get there, so it seems like it's not that bad. But then when you add in traffic, it's really about 2 hours there and back. I would always have to leave my house 3 hours earlier to make it to, for example, if I have a 9 o'clock class, I have to leave the latest by 6 o'clock. If I left by 6:15 or just a little after 6, like it was over. I probably wouldn't make it to my 9 o'clock class. I would be late. There was this one time that I had a little quiz that was actually not that little. And I was running to class out of breath. And I was like, I'm never leaving at 6 o'clock again. So ever since then, I started leaving at 5:45 on the dot because you never know if there's going to be traffic. And chances are there's going to be traffic on a day that you don't need there to be traffic. On top of the commute being wild, my actual schedule was packed with stuff to do. So I had about 4 classes. One of them was patho, then it was med surge. We had this thing called impact and health assessment. On top of the crazy schedule, I also had a skills lab every other week and clinicals every week. So it was kind of wild to keep up with the schedule and just like organize it, but I definitely had to make a schedule because there's no way I could have made it to my class on time. I would have been missing assignments, missing class, the whole shebang, because the schedule is wild that they put you on, but you will make it through. Then it didn't help that on Saturday, that's when I got my clinicals. So we don't get to pick first semester. So of course, just my luck, I got a Saturday clinical on top of everything. It ended up not being that bad, but it's still like you want to have a free weekend, and I didn't have one, but I did have Mondays off, so it kind of worked out. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my classes and just kind of like how they were. So patho, that was like one of my favorite classes. Straightforward, how the body works. I loved it. We had a great professor. It was great. Med surge, we also had a really great professor, and med surge was hard. It's just like all of the stuff that you need to know for the boards, for the NCLEX. It's fundamental nursing. And yeah, I don't know, it's just like kind of really different from other things that I've studied, and I love science. So it was kind of challenging, but I made it through and I ended up with a pretty decent grade. So I'm not complaining about it. And the teacher, my professor, again, really, really nice. Both of my professors. Impact was really cool because you got to collab with other people from other professions. So there were other students in OT, PT, and SLP, and I think I'm missing a few, but we got to collaborate with them, and you kind of move along with them through the semesters. And they have actors, paid actors, come in and they act like patients, and we're supposed to be treating them like we're going to be like we are their providers. So it's a really cool experience. The only thing that was annoying about Impact was the times are always at like 9:30, and it's like, okay, I live really far, and if I have class at 9 a.m. and it ends at 12, I have to stay on campus for 9 hours to be able to do Impact for 20 minutes or an hour, whatever it was that day. It was kind of annoying, but Impact was only a couple times a month. And not even, I think it was a couple times a semester, so it wasn't that bad, but it was actually like a really cool experience. Health assessment was one of my favorite classes as well, just because you got to really see all the fundamental things that a provider would do. This is a class that's specific to direct entry students, because it's kind of like the class is set up like you're giving a physical on different body systems, and you learn about what you're doing these physicals for, and just kind of like what you're looking for, what's normal, what's abnormal. And you picked a partner and you stayed with that partner throughout the rest of the semester. And my partner is actually one of my best nursing friends now. So it was really fun. We had a lot of laughs in that class and we learned a lot. And the tests were kind of like, you actually have to do like physical tests. So you actually have to perform everything on certain systems on your partner. So it was really interesting. The tests were kind of nerve-wracking, of course, because somebody's watching you do these things, but it ended up being fine. It was great. And the instructors were great, and the student TAs were great. It was awesome. There's a lot of people in the program, and I tried to meet as many people as I could and just kind of like make a ton of friends. Of course, I found my tribe, and I have a really good set of good friends that I recommend that everyone make friends during nursing school, because those are the people that are going to get you through. Those are the people you're going to share your memes with, and it's just like so much better when you have somebody to vent about these things with that actually know what's going on. So I love my friends at school. You meet so many different people, and sometimes I study with different people too that aren't even like my really good friends, but it's really nice to have like different people to study with and just different people to learn from. So I always enjoy that. And I would just recommend, like, you need to find like people that you really like in nursing school to hang out with and just like to study with. I think it's definitely essential. My clinical was great. I had a great group of students with me that I met, and we became really good friends, but also my preceptor was amazing. She just showed us everything and was really nice, and it was really easy to ask her if we needed help with anything. And we just learned a lot in clinical. A lot of the things that we learned in clinical first semester was how to do bed baths, vital signs, head to toe assessments, and just kind of like routine things, I's and O's, emphasizing a lot of the things that we saw in med-surg. So it's really nice to have them together because you get to actually like put it into practice. One of the things that I was really bad at is just like putting up the bed and putting it in high Fowler's position. If you don't know what that is, you'll know soon enough, because I feel like it's one of the simplest interventions, and I used to always get that wrong on the exams, and I finally got it. I think it's just because it was like a basic thing, and I just couldn't wrap my head, like I just kept going to the most intricate, crazy answer when it was the simplest thing. I'm sure you heard that in nursing school, you basically eat, breathe, sleep nursing school, and it's kind of true. I literally felt like I was studying all day. My fiance felt like I was studying all day. I was studying any chance that I could, and I really had to put in the work to get those grades. And a lot of the things too, like, you have to make the studying fun. Like, I would get on Zooms with my friends to study. We would call it a silent study, but it actually really worked. It was just like an accountability Zoom. And I also went to the library a couple times with some of my friends. Before class, I would always go. That's the thing. So sometimes because I had class so early and I had to be on campus so early, it kind of worked out. So I would like go to class early. I would go to school early and then go to the gym and then go and study for 3 hours before my class started at 1 if I had a midday class. So I would study a lot with my friends, and we'd make it fun. You know, when you're studying with your friends, it's a lot more enjoyable than studying by yourself. So we do that a lot. And I listened to my lectures on car rides. Like, I was literally like eating, breathing, sleeping nursing school. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could say that it's easy, but it's not easy, and you're gonna have to put in the work, and you're gonna have to study a lot. I don't know about all the schools, but at my school, they gave so much support with the studying. So if you need to fine tune your study habits, or you don't really know where to start, if you were out of school for a really long time, they have a lot of resources. They have office hours, there's TA office hours. You could also make an appointment with your professor. They're kind of very available to you and very accessible. So if you have a question, you can just reach out to them and ask. You have all the emails to all the students in the class. So if you don't have somebody's number and you really want to reach out to somebody, you can that way. There's just a ton of resources, and they record the classes. So if you miss a class, you can listen to the lecture online. Of course, you don't want to miss a class, but it's very convenient if there's a lot of traffic, or you have an appointment, or there's just something that came up that you can't make it to class. So that was really awesome, and that helped a lot with the studying and just like fine-tuning your studying pattern. Probably the most common question that was asked before the semester started, and I was asking myself, is it possible to work first semester? It depends on a lot of things. For me, my commute is so far that I'm spending almost at least 4 hours on commuting. So working the first semester for me was kind of out of the question because I just really wanted to focus and I wanted to do well. I wanted a good foundation. So for me, I didn't work and I thought it was hard even without working. I did really well, but I don't know if I could have done as well if I worked, especially because of the commute. If it wasn't for the commute, I think I could have worked because technically a lot of the people that did work lived right near the school and a lot of people worked. I even have a friend who worked almost full time, which is pretty wild, but she did it and she's still here and she made it to the next semester and she's still working. So it's definitely doable. It just depends on what kind of person you are. So like I had mentioned before, I really loved my first semester and I think that you will too. I think that it is kind of scary, but I don't think it's anything you should be scared about because you're all in this together. Just make good connections, meet with your professors, make sure you're actually like on top of your things and you're not letting anything stay behind, and you should be fine. Thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know in the comments if you want to see any more future videos specific to certain things. Like let me know if you liked the semester recap that I just did, and just like let me know what you think. I'd really love to hear from you guys. And if you did like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. And oh, happy Easter.